everybody. I'm sitting out here in the villages. I have so much napkins, which I don't need, but I have them anyways. I'm outside by myself in the villages. Hello everyone. I'm not sure if anyone is on there. Let me move you guys a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm having here. I'm having actually Panera bread, and it's a little noisy because I'm outside. I'm trying to find my mayonnaise. What I'm having here is cream of rice soup and a chicken sandwich from Panera bread. Chicken avocado BLT. It's hot. And I took most of their condiments. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the live, you guys. Yes, he is, Brenda. I think it's Brenda. Let me go back on here. I'm sorry. Bandy, I'm sorry. Jay Brown. You guys are crazy. Who came on there and said that anyway? I'm going to ignore some of them because I can't believe some of these people really come on here to say some ridiculous stuff. Welcome, everyone. I'm out here in the villages having my lunch. I went to the courthouse to get some passport papers, more like forms to renew some passports. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna have me some lunch at Panera. And whoever said what toilet paper stuff, you know what? Something is wrong with you, Jay Brown. Cobra Kai never dies. Yes. I'm trying to just enjoy life while I got it. We had like 2 hurricanes back to back. We got lucky. So I'm enjoying it. It's pretty cool today. It's in the 70s. And I have a little bit of chicken, cream of chicken soup here. And I have whole bacon and it's roast chicken, bacon, avocado, BLT, I guess. And then with some fancy lettuce on there. I don't know what kind of lettuce that is, but it's pretty good. You guys can't see my face. Here I go. I'm covering my eyes because of the sun, but I want to be in the sun because it's chilly. So I have the hat on to cover my eyes a bit so I don't blink the whole way through. I don't know if you guys can see me. But I went to the courthouse to get the forms for the passport, and these people were so rude, like as if it's their paper or you're taking something from them. I don't get it. People doing public service you know, it's weird how nasty and rude people could get. But I'm not gonna let me have a bad day. I did get the forms anyway. All I asked the lady was like, can you do a renewal online for a child? Which I thought we couldn't, but everyone said you can do the renewal online. Well, she said you can't, but she was so rude about it. I don't know why she was so rude. It's an easy yes or no. If you guys want to see what I'm eating. I do eat nasty, so if you can't stand it, get off, but I'm going to eat my food. I'm trying to get the soup while it's hot. My background is over there. That's the main street back there. I'm by a pond or a lake, whatever that is over there. It's a bit noisy of the golf carts. I choose to stop here because most of the time no one's over here in your face, minding your business if you're trying to do a live. It's pretty good. I was going to return to Jamaica. I said I was talking about Jamaica this December permanently, but my plans have changed a bit. Putting it off for a little bit of time. Yeah, that's from I'm scratching from the sand flies or whatever they call. Down there when I was crabbing on the weekend. And so I'm making the best of everything. The hurricane also did Jamaica bad, and to be honest, the vibe have changed. The schools, not as up to par to begin with, but it's even worse because of the hurricane that hit the parish I was going into. I want to go home so bad, but sometimes God do things in mysterious ways. He redirect you. It doesn't change anything because I am going home, and that's my plan, and that's why I'm building my home there. Well, I can't say I've always had a home in Jamaica since I was 21 years old, or a little bit before 21 years old. So that is not my first home. That is not my only home, to be honest. But I do want to return to Jamaica. The only thing about Jamaica that scares me sometimes is for the children. And it's not just violence, it's about the kids. They're like, sometimes we have to worry about the schools here in America. And the schools in America is bad because you have a bunch of kids that's, out of control. But it's not just the kids, you have to worry about some of those teachers in Jamaica as well. To be honest, the teachers here are more disciplined than the one in Jamaica. Some of the teachers in Jamaica have like a childish mind as far as like, they will actually get jealous over a child. And I seen something the other day, and it was just pure jealousy of a teacher over a child. And I'm not going to call the person's name because I'm not affiliated with her, so I'm not going to say anything. So me moving home is my biggest dream, was my biggest dream. I moved to Florida as a stopgap, more like it, if that's a correct word. I was heading to Jamaica. I got fed up with Pennsylvania, and I chose to go home. I chose to go home, and I decided, you know what, maybe let me try Florida again, because it wasn't my first time moving to Florida. This is my second time, and to be honest, we've been here over 8 years. I should have left in 5. The kids was young. I love the school system. Honestly, the school system is not so bad. I don't know what that man is doing by my car, but I'm going to watch. And the school system is not so bad down here. The hurricanes and all of that is scary, but hey, everywhere is scary, to be honest with you. There's nowhere that you can live without tornadoes, hurricanes, snowstorms, whatever, blizzards. So I choose to live where it's a little bit warmer. It was so chilly this morning, and by now it's actually warm. If you get under the shades, it's in the 70s feeling, kind of chill. But give it till noon, it's back in the 80s. And that's the temperature most of the time. It's costly home, and we're not fully completed, so I don't want to go home and run through savings like water. in Jamaica. That's what you're going to do if you go to Jamaica right away. You're going to run through that money quickly, especially if you're building and you're not fully completed, because the price of materials went up so much. So we have to reconsider, is it worth it to go spend all that money? I know what I'm going to do there, so I have a business plan. I'm not going empty-handed, and I'm not going with the notion to stay where I'm even at right all my life, to be honest with you. I'm going to move again once I get to Jamaica, but I do want to spend at least 5 to 6 years in the countryside, the St. Elizabeth, Mandeville area, and after that I'm heading back to maybe uptown in Kingston somewhere, which that's the end goal, to spend most of my life. As far as the living for the children is my scariest part of life. I'm thinking like maybe I should wait a bit for them, and I am going to give them maybe another year or so in Florida, see if I'm really up to it. My husband gave me the leeway that I can go home if I want. He'll stay and keep on working, and I could go home. He's a pretty good guy when it comes down to that. He's not a bad guy. He looks out for my best interest, but I also worry about him because he's a man that don't eat from, like, I could do this. He don't mind doing it once in a while with me, but this is not a regular habit as far as coming out and eat. I like to come out and eat. I will eat almost anything, but not him. He won't try everything. We go to a restaurant and all he get is chicken nuggets or strips or something. Or salmon or regular fish that he know about. But anyway, going back to Jamaica was my biggest dream, still is, haven't changed. I was going to leave the end of this year. That has changed. I had to change my plans. A lot of people didn't know my plans, but I knew my plans. My husband knew our plans, more like it, to take the children and go. You know, when you work all your life and save your money for it, but then you realize that you haven't completed your project. So how are you going to go with your savings and run through it like water, trying to complete a home that's, the materials has tripled over the time. To be honest, since we had that first floor with 3 bedrooms downstairs since 2007, 8, I'm not sure. So we always could live in it. It was never like we couldn't live in it. It was completed. That house was completely completed. I chose to keep on going. So I could have finished the second floor as well with the money from the third floor, but I chose the third floor because I wanted the privacy. I wanted to be able to get that full canopy feel of coming outside and just seeing the top of the trees, which I can. When it comes down to most things, I know that I will never live in a community. Let me turn this up a little bit. I know that I will never live in a community setting because I can't afford that in Jamaica. A lot of people saying they're retiring. I'm gonna hit a subject which a lot of people are gonna be mad at me maybe, and it's not for everyone. I know it's not for me. Some people say, why didn't you try to get into a gated community? I've seen that comment like several times on one of my videos where I have like 8,000, you know, whatever they watch. And why I won't live in a community, because I can't afford it if I'm 65, 70. If you want a set income, you cannot move into a gated community and assume that your income might change for one. Your lifestyle, everything might change, and you can't afford it. And the HOA fees, they fluctuate over the years. I can't afford that, but I can afford living and owning my own property right now without any form of charges. You know what I mean? Jamaica is a place where you don't get up and just rush into. You have to strategically think about it. I can't even say the word properly, but you have to think about it. If it's worth getting up, if you have a job or you have a way of income of life here, and if you're 50, 60 and you have everything done, it's okay. But if you don't do it. I wouldn't tell anyone to get up and run to Jamaica because out of just convenience. I see a lot of YouTubers early when the COVID hit ran to Jamaica and they rented apartments. And so many of them rent apartments and didn't realize that you cannot pick up $180,000 a month rent. And I don't care what they was making on YouTube. I'm not sure what they was making on YouTube, so I'm not going to judge anyone. But in the early part, a lot of them ran to Jamaica, renting properties, and not realizing that was going to, whatever savings they had, they was going to blow through that money like water. And a lot of them did, and a lot of them moved back now to the States, and I've watched them, and I respect them for their, courageousness, their ability to say, okay, forget it. But most of them was young without children, so that was okay. They didn't really have nothing to lose. Some of them had their parents to fall back on. I don't have no parents to fall back on. I'm a grown behind woman with a lot of responsibilities, and my children, my husband. So I can't get up and run every time it seems convenient to turn back. And I do not like to turn back. I'm the type of chick that don't turn back on nothing. I don't give up easily either. But you cannot get your little bit of money and say, oh, I'm going to move to Jamaica and rent a property. Don't do it. It's best you try to find maybe a piece of land for $1 million, which is 7,000 US dollars. You buy it and you put a darn room on it. Put a room on it with a bathroom, a kitchen, and try to make it through. Because land and lots are for sale down there. And right now with the hurricane and people being hungry, you can find a piece of property in that price range. Between $2 to $3 million, which is 21,000 US dollars. If you could find yourself to save that much money, go ahead and do it, because it's there. You might not get a large piece, but you can get a piece, and depends. And a lot of people are trying to stick to town. Do not try to buy in Kingston or St. Andrew area. You will not be able to afford it for that price. I know for a fact. But if you're trying to buy within St. Elizabeth, Manchester, even St. Catherine, I know some of part of St. Catherine is not the greatest, but it's not the worst. Other places, do your research. Do your research. You will find somewhere. Jamaica is a place where you have to make sure you know how to spend money, understand the money, understand the people. The people are nice, but it can be nasty nice. Nice nasty. Put it like that. When it comes down to you going to, let me put this on Do Not Disturb, because I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if y'all could even see me. Can you guys hear me? Please somebody tell me if you could hear me, because it says silent here. I'm not even sure. It is on my bucket list too, Erica. And it's on a lot of people's bucket list, but it's so hard. I hope the volume is okay. Can somebody tell me if they can hear me? Okay, thank you. So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. So I'm saying Jamaica is somewhere, is not for everyone. And if you're even planning to go home, being a person that always had a home in Jamaica, I could have been went home. I bought my first property, to be honest with you, before I was 20 years old in Jamaica. An apartment. No, that's a lie. It was the house first, and then an apartment. So I know what I'm talking about. I've bought property. I've sold property in Jamaica. I've sold property in Jamaica. So I have an idea how it can be. I've owned a wholesale, a clothing store, an ice cream shop, a car wash. I've done all of that in Jamaica. So I have an idea what I'm talking about. Negril is one of the perfect spot, to be honest with you. Whoever put that up there, JT, yes. Jamaica in Negril in Jamaica is beautiful. I love Negril. That's part of another part that I want to be in. But what I was saying about a lot of the places and living in Jamaica is this. You have to know yourself, know the people. And if you do buy a piece of property, do not buy it by the waterside unless you have another home to go to. Because remember, some places, if it's flat, it will flood almost like Florida. The water do come up. If you're buy it on the hillside, even by the water on the hillside, but do not buy it on the flat. If you're planning to live here all your life, I wouldn't suggest that. If you're going to Jamaica to buy a property, buy in the country area in the hills. And if you really don't have a lot of money, try the hillsides. Believe it, in the country area, you will find property for sale. It's a lot. Building on it is a little tricky, but you can. Finding the right contractors to build the houses or a property is kind of sticky, but they're there. Quality people are still in Jamaica. I'm not going to bash my people and say that you have really people that has integrity there. It's just finding them. Like I said, they could be nasty nice and nice nasty to you. There's a lot of scammers there, but there's still good people, and you wouldn't allow someone to just spend your money without you being there, or if you can go and spend it for yourself, do it. Okay, back to the major thing about moving, and I will say something before I lose track of what I really want to say about these HOA places, gated communities. The gated communities, I wouldn't suggest anyone really buying if you're planning to go home as a retiree, because if you have a set income, you're going to be in trouble at some point, because you do not want to get sick. If your income gets less than what you used to, you finish paying for your mortgage, but you still have to pay this HOA fee. They call it maintenance fee. They call it all kind of different stuff. But whatever the case is, in some places you cannot build on top. You cannot expand. You can't even change the color of your house. Resale is not the best either in some places. Not everywhere. I'm not going to say everywhere you can't resale, but resale is very hard to resale some of these properties. As far as the maintenance or HOA fees, most of them want you to pay in US dollars. And if you do your research, you see that I'm not lying about that. Let's close the sandwich up. Maybe I don't even eat the whole sandwich because I'm going to eat the soup. It's a little hot. But anyway, it's going to be cold by the time I'm done. But anyways, there is a clause in it that you have to pay most of them by US dollars. Now, imagine you being 65 years old, 70, you getting a steady pension, you finish paying for your home, and you finish paying for your home, and you have this HOA fees. You're set with it $200 a month. Okay, cool, I could pay my $200 a month. But guess what now? You get a notice saying, oh, your HOA fees done tripled. How you gonna manage that? So from $200 a month to $600 a month, you're getting a pension for $1,500, $2,000 US dollars a month to live in these places. You're comfortable because you done paid, you know, you still got to buy food, you got to buy your medication because you don't know what your health might be. Maybe you do have to pay someone to help you clean, take care of your home because you're older. And most of us is planning it as a retiring kind of plan thing. You have HOA fees that's from $200 to $600. Or after that, you hear, oh, it's $1,000 because it's happening right now in Florida to a lot of people. A lot of people are getting HOA fees that they used to pay $400 for $3,000 in some places. And that's not a made up story. You could Google it. You could go on YouTube. You could watch it yourself. A lot of the HOA fees are jumping. Maintenance fees, whatever, however they put it on your contract. So you own your home, but because you live in this community, you still have to pay $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, sometimes $1,000 to maintain and upkeep. To me, that's ridiculous. Excuse me. I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't tell anyone that's planning to retire, because you might start off good. You might have a nice little chunk of change, and you say, okay, I'm going home. It could last me for 20 years. What if you live beyond 20 years? What if you live beyond 30 years? And all of a sudden, your HOA fees jump from $200 to $1,200. Tell me how you're going to manage with that now. You have a set income. The worst thing is to pay off on your house and still paying a monthly fee. That's going to be, to me, that's silly for me. Not for everyone, because if you have the money, you go right ahead and do it. But I wouldn't suggest, and I wouldn't tell anybody that I love to do something like that. It's best to either buy a house that's already, you know, established in a nice neighborhood than to go into a gated community. I wouldn't suggest anyone going into a gated community if you don't have that kind of money to survive off of as a retiree. I'm not that age yet, but I'm getting close enough to start worrying about exactly how I really want to retire, even though I'll be in Jamaica. Yes, I have my places, but that's not going to be my only thought. As a woman and a married woman, I have to think about not just myself, my husband, his health, my health. We don't know what's going to happen to any of us, but I don't want us to set our heads and say, okay, we're going to live in this community or that community. My plan is not to be in any form of facility, community, nothing. I want to be independent as long as I can until I have no sense in my head. Even for instance, this YouTube channel, I'm doing it. I have a daughter. Eventually, I'm going to turn it over to her. I don't plan, but I'm trying to set something up so she could have it. My boy could have it. I have 2 channels, to be honest with you. There's another channel. And it's growing. Both of them are growing. I started out from nothing, and I have both of them over 5,000. No, that's not untrue. One of them is 4,700, and this one is 6,000 something. And it's all for my daughter and my son the youngest one anyway. I have two older ones, they're fine. The youngest one, I have to worry about them too. If they're gonna come and live with me when I do go home, I'm not sure. By the time they're 16 and 17, they'll be old enough to tell me I'm not coming, and guess what? I can't force them. Forcing them won't be a thing for me. I'm not gonna force anyone that's over 18 or 19 to say come and live with me or come to Jamaica with me. So I had to take those things in consideration. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Dusty. Do you have anyone that has a YouTube channel and do subscribe to me? Let me know. I will go through them and I will subscribe back. I will. And please press the thumbs up button. And thank you for subscribing, Dewey. I think that's what it says. I can't see. I'm gonna have to go in. I'm sorry. Some of you guys are like really dark. And right now, the way things are set up in my life, my husband is the one taking care of me. So if anyone was worrying about it, he is. So might see me thinking that, oh, she's this or that. No, I do have a husband and he takes care of me. My thing is this. Over the years, I've done a lot of thinking, doing, growing, understanding myself. Like for instance, now I could sit and have lunch by myself without having no one around, and that's fine for me because I know I have my loved ones, my family. I'm sorry guys, the sun glare is making it difficult for me to see. I know you guys can see me, but I can't see the screen, and if I go over that side, I won't see you guys, period. But anyway, back to Jamaica. Like I said, you guys, anyone on this channel that's watching right now that's planning to go back to Jamaica, I will never discourage anyone not to go to Jamaica. I will never tell anyone from Jamaica not to come to America. If you could come to America, work and help yourself, go ahead and do it. If you could go to Jamaica and you can afford to live there, live there. Listen, life is meant for us to live. It's not no one particular place anyone have to be confined to or you have to stay in. It's where you love, where you want to be. As a human being, you have the right to do what you want to do. Once you can financially take care of yourself, I'm surrounded by ants, you guys. I don't know where they're coming from, but I think it's the trees. Once you can financially afford it, live your life, enjoy it, and do not let no one stop you or fear. Because a lot of us out here is living in a lot of fear because something happened to someone else and we just assume it's going to happen to us too. That's not necessarily true. Everyone can survive if you choose to survive anywhere in this world. And even though I said I'm not going to live in a gated community in Jamaica when I go home, and that's a choice, that don't mean you can't go or you can't afford it, or because maybe you can afford it. I'm just saying to the people that's maybe around 55, 60 right now thinking about retiring to Jamaica, double think where you buy your property, double think where you're going to be staying. Do not rent. I will tell anyone, do not rent. Renting is not for someone that's on a set income. Do not know. That's for someone that's even young that can, maybe jump from place to place. If you're planning to just sit and be comfortable, do not rent. The landlords is not the greatest either, because if you're from the United States and you say you have a certain amount of money and they know you from the United States and they know you might be in a business where you can't afford certain things, by the next year you will have an extravagant jump in your rent, in your price of rental that you're paying. And I'm not making up stories, I'm telling you, because I've seen it. I've seen people complaining. It's not good. They will jump on you in your price once you come from the United States. Excuse me. It's just like going to the craft market or any shopping down there. If you notice, when you go into most places, if they look at you and they think you're from the States, they think you're from any country that's foreign, different from Jamaica, they will increase the price on you. I don't know why, but they do. Treat you totally different. You will get the nicest of treatment, but they will treat you terribly on prices, on how much they charge you. And it's not everyone. Everyone is not greedy. But there's a lot of people with no conscience, and it's all over the world. But particularly if you're renting, even buying, you have to be very careful. As far as transportation, that's another thing. If you're planning to move and go home or return home to Jamaica or move to Jamaica, it's new to you and you're planning, I will suggest if you know you're gonna stay 2-3 years, get you a car. Do not think you can rely on cabs and buses. Get you a car. For one, for safety, it's economical. Get you a car. If you're gonna plan to go home to Jamaica, get you a car. Get you a car for your safety, economical. You can save a lot more money, believe it or not. It seems kind of weird saying this, but let me tell you something. You do not want to take taxis every day. Taking cabs every day is not something you want to do. If you're not the type to go out a lot, or then maybe you'd be okay without a car. But I would suggest you get a car. If you're gonna be planning to go home, start getting your bank account right. Make sure you have a local account. If you going home, a local account is something you're gonna need. So you get your TRN, your SSI number, and you go to the bank. You're gonna need both of those things to open an account now in Jamaica. And it's almost like a social security number, and the TRN is a registration number, which you can't do most business without it. So if you're planning to go to Jamaica, you're gonna need those things. And those things will start you. And to be honest, I don't think you need to be a resident, which is kind of weird because in America, you need to be a resident or a citizen in order to get a social security number or a TRN. But anyway, people that's not Jamaican are still doing it, but most Jamaican that's on here already knew that. You need to get your TRN and your SSI number. Anyways, you have those things, you have them, you could do business in Jamaica. Once you have those things, you can do your business. You can open a bank account. You could use Zoom. Even once a week, you send $200-300 home to your account and save. Second of all, you could get up and open maybe a credit union account with a credit union, not just a regular bank. You have Sagicor business insurance you're going to need at some point if you're living there, because medical is not cheap unless you're planning to come back to the States or wherever you're coming from, other countries, Europe or wherever you're coming from. You're going to need to have medical. Can you afford to go for a regular checkup, or maybe just to do a little bit of checking here and there for $4,000, $5,000? Yeah, you can. But, sorry, that's my alarm going off on my house. Anyway, all of those things you got to take in consideration moving to these countries. But Jamaica, like I said, is more pricier. You're going to spend more. You could go and blow through just regular going on the street, buy gas, buy a little food or whatever, and you're over $150 in Jamaica. And that's the truth. It's very pricey. Can you afford it? Maybe. I'm not going to tell no one not to go to Jamaica because I can't afford to just do whatever I want. But if you want and you're planning to go and you do try to rent, do your homework. Go around. Do not just go and just rent any whole where. Do your research. Get a realtor. Do not try to do it online. If you try to do it online, you're gonna get scammed. Do not rent nothing online. Do not buy anything online unless you see it for yourself and you already established and relationship with your realtor, your bank and everything, and that's all set up, and your lawyer, because you need a lawyer to buy most homes, property, lands, anything in Jamaica. And nowadays, if you could use a lawyer to buy a car, especially if you're buying it from someone, get the paperwork written up, get it done. You can, but you could do it without for a car. But for any other property, make sure you have a lawyer. When it comes down to, say you want all these fancy stuff to be shipped, you have plenty of stuff in your house and you want them with you. If you can't afford to really clear this thing, do not ship them, because that's a whole different ball game. It's best to buy them there. So if you're going home to Jamaica and you say, I'm going to go home next year, and if you have $100,000, you can blow through that $100,000 as if it's nothing. And I mean 100,000 US dollars I'm talking about. If you have plans to go to Jamaica and you only have $200,000, you could destroy that money within no time. I'm not even sure who this is saying Kendrick Lamar. Anyway, all I could tell anyone that's really like planning to even move to any other Caribbean country, do your research, search around, try to make sure that you know what you're up to or going to face, because a lot of us don't know what we're going to face. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming on, okay? But make sure you know what you're going to face to look forward to. But I can only speak for the country that I was born in. The country I was raised in for a little bit, I fell back in love with. I left for years, and then, you know, after a while, I went home on my own as a teenager, and I fell in love with this place because it's home. No matter what, I always feel comfortable there. I'm not afraid to live there, that's for sure. Am I a little afraid for my kids? Yes, because that's different for them. When you have other people in your life that rely on you, depend on you, you have to be responsible for their well-being and safety as well. So you have to make sure, take that in consideration. A single person, you could take your chances and just get up and the whims of your drawers and go, you know what I mean? But when you have a family, you have to think twice about everything that you do. Everything. The number one thing I'm gonna tell a lot of people, make sure you really fall in love with it before you make, because Jamaica, people say money. Yes, money is the second biggest thing. But if you're really in love with Jamaica, money won't be the biggest thing. For the simple fact, people make money. So if you have a business plan and you choose to go home to Jamaica, you can make your money. You don't need a lot of money to make money in Jamaica. That's another trick. But anyways, that's for a different video. You can make money in Jamaica, and a lot of people don't know this. Jamaica is one of the most creepiest at times, but fun place, enjoyable, relaxing, peace of mind. When you get there, you will have a peace of mind. People say, oh, you make money, how can you make money? Like I said, I could tell you guys, but it's a lot of people don't know this. If you doing any form of business in Jamaica, the only thing I would suggest you do, if it's something where it has to be from the ground up, do not try to jump in it with everything right away. Take your time and see what works first. A lot of people thinking that, oh, I'm gonna go and it's definitely gonna work. If you have it like that and you feel like it's gonna work and you know it's gonna work, fine. Because remember, believing in yourself is the biggest thing we could do as a human being for ourselves. Money is a thing that you have to have in Jamaica. A property, a place to stay, which if you can avoid having a mortgage, avoid having a car payment or renting, your life could be sweet. Your life could be sweet. If you do not have a mortgage, you do not have a car note, you do not have a anything that's going to really hold you back, which you have to have insurance no matter what, on your property or your cars, whatever. That's different. But if you do not have a monthly payment that you have to pay out every month out of your pocket, and you can survive there, you really can, and you can be very happy there. Very happy. A lot of people feel like Jamaica is somewhere that's you get up and go to the beach every day. No, there's other things to do in Jamaica, which a lot of people don't know about. I've drove through all 14 parishes with my husband, with our children, the older ones. We did the whole thing, and we did it by ourselves as well, but we enjoyed. There are so many different places that people think Jamaica don't have. Jamaica have places you could go hiking. Jamaica have rivers, so many beaches, yes, but there's places that people never seen, never gone to or touch. It's a small place, but some people, I hear people say, oh, Jamaica, yes, it is small, but it's a lot of places you can go to, and there's a lot of places that people have not touched, have not seen, especially tourists that's never seen. And you don't need a guide to take you either if you live there. All you got to do is take your time and start researching, start figuring out just for yourself. The one thing I could tell anyone that's moving home, do not put all your trust into any one person that's there. They will come nice to you, they will see your pocket, and you could wind up spending more than you ever think just by having someone around you. So if you can avoid having a bunch of people, a bunch of crowd, try your best not to be just sitting there relying on these people to take you here or take you there, because you will wind up if you will say go with your spouse, both of y'all go in and you have a cab man or a taxi man, whatever taking you guys, you have to worry about his lunch as well. You have to worry about yours, your spouse, whatever, right? This person that's taking you, mind you, you cannot take that lunch money back out of what you're paying for it. It's nothing wrong with if you're doing it 1 or 2 days. But you don't want it to be a regular thing because that's extra expenses on you that you don't need. That's why I said get a car, have your own vehicle. And if you do not need it, it's okay. But if you're going to be like a lot of people want to explore, adventurous, want to do things, get your own vehicle. Do not sit up there and say, oh, I'm going to be taking, it's fine because this amount is that amount. No, they will. You will not even know you're getting robbed because that's how nice they're going to be to you. So make sure you do your research on everything, buying properties, buying a vehicle. Like I said, take your time. Do not rush into it. There's a lot of dealers down there. And then you do have some dealers that you don't even want to buy from because there's scammers as well. When it comes down to the rental, I will keep on telling people, be careful of renting right off the bat when you go down there. Get you a realtor. Do not do it online. Do not buy anything online if you're planning to return home. Take your time. Do your research. And if you're planning to go, most of the time, just go stay at Airbnb for maybe 2 weeks. Meet with someone and go to their office and make sure that they're in that office. Let them meet up with you at the property. Make sure they have the keys for the property. They know the owner, and definitely have some form of signing over to you because you will get scammed. You will get taken. And what I mean by that, you be getting took. Your money be gone. Get a reputable realtor. Go to an office. You have Century 21, you have Remax, you have all of that. I always use Century 21 because I know a lady that's there that's actually good. Come on to buying or selling. She's very nice. Let me tell you something. Jamaica is one of the most beautiful places in the world to me. Is it the best place? To each his own. Everybody have their opinion of what's the best for them. Jamaica, I love Jamaica. And the funny thing about me talking about all of this, I fell in love with Florida. And this is America, mind you. I never hated Pennsylvania. I just hate the cold. Do I hate the buildings? Yes, because there's just a bunch of big old buildings and there's no trees. There's no, like this. I love this. I love this for myself. You do have a few places in Florida and Pennsylvania you could go to. It's a lot of golf carts making all that noise. But they're biting me up. You see me scratching? The ants and all kind of stuff. But I'm okay. It's a lot of beautiful place in Florida as well, because I've come down here and I've seen so many beautiful places that some of them I wasn't even thinking to record in the beginning when I started YouTube, which I'm planning to do now, because a lot of people don't know you don't have to be down South Florida to really have a great time. There's so many, because I'm in Central Florida. I'm not down the bottom where the water comes right up on you. So that's why we miss some of the hurricane. Living in Florida have helped me from not in this great rush to run home to Jamaica. And that's the truth. That's the only reason why I'm not home yet. This kind of helped me a bit to accept certain things. And yes, I was gonna get up and go at the end of the year, no lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, I wasn't planning to run home this December. Yes, I was. The hurricane put a damper. When we went back in August, it was horrible looking. I wasn't feeling it. One of the schools that I had my eyes on for my children, it was not in the best of shape. And at that point, I just lost a little bit of interest. The kids said they didn't want to stay. We didn't have any light. I took those things in consideration, because if you even have a generator, that's not going to help you for how long to carry all that stuff you have in your house. A lot of people was having generators getting burnt out. Whatever was going on, it was just a mess. So we was pretty much there. We had light as we land, but after that, the light went back out. And for like almost 4 days, we had no electricity. That's something to take in consideration. We had no internet. No, we had internet, but because we had no light, we had no internet. So the internet was pretty much pooped as well. So for 4 or 5 days, I was paying for a plan. I paid over 23,000 Jamaican dollars just to keep my phone on. Someone say Trump 2024. And, you know, when you look at it, some of the times you just have to laugh and say to yourself, maybe this is a sign. And I took it as a sign. And because I took it as a sign, I reconfigured my plans, or our plans. But I was going to leave with the 2 kids. My husband was going to stay for a while. And I get whatever I had to get up under, you know, I can't go through in details, but get it up off the ground and get stuff adjusted for us, you know, for the long term. So when we went in August. It was such of a mess that even coming back, getting her ticket, I had to cancel her tickets there in Jamaica to get back. We actually went through the Cayman Islands, then back to Miami. Then we took a vehicle, we rented a car to get back to Orlando Airport to pick up her car. That's how we had to do it. So from Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Miami had to get a Jeep to drive back to pick up her car from Orlando and then drive home. And that's what it taught me a lesson. Like, wait a minute, everything gonna shut down on you, Jamaica. You be stuck in Jamaica. It's not wrong being stuck there, but being stuck without no light, no internet, and you have kids, mosquitoes are biting the crap out of them. They're getting miserable. I'm like, can I live with this? Can I keep them like this? Can I be okay with this as a mother? And they're starting to say they want to go home. They want to go home. They don't want to stay. My daughter she's okay, mainly I think because I'm okay with it. But our youngest son was like, no, he don't want to be there. He point blank said he don't want to be there. And then I don't want the pressure on my husband to come back, leaving all that pressure on him to leave. Let me get this off. Leaving that pressure on him to say, okay, they stay and I'll stay for a little bit down Jamaica. It's unfair. So I said, okay, I'll put it off for a minute and see what happens. Have my plans changed for Jamaica? No, it's haven't. And we stopped working on the house. We stopped for a little bit, but we're working on it again in a few months. We're gonna, well, not as heavy, but it's basic and little things that's left to be done. It's not a lot of stuff left on it. You know, we got, the roof is on, all the roofs are on. Most of the finishing is done. It's just the back portion of the back of the house that needs to get, like Americans would say, stucco. It needs to be splashed up. The cement need to get onto the back, and that's basically it. And the side, the interior, all done up. That was done. The windows, most of them are dressed up, but the ones to the back are not fully because the fact it's not fully splashed. That's easy to get done. I had my kitchen put up upstairs, already set up. The grills need to be made. I have a few guys that I've been in contact with. And these older people, they drive these golf carts like racing cars, okay? We've been trying our best to figure out if we want to go home right now or later. And I want to go now, like yesterday, but it's not the best choice to do with children. So I'm going to hold up a little bit longer and then make up my mind what we're going to do. Most of it, that part is up to me. I just have to tell my husband what I'm doing, and he's with it. He's from Jamaica, so he understands. It's nothing. He never have an objective of going home. He's not afraid to go home. He's never been, you know, but he has a decent job and he's going, and he loves it. He's been there since we got here. He's been at that same job. He wants to go home, but he don't think it's right for us to go home right now, and we're still young. We should wait a little bit. That's what he says. So I'm going to listen to him. He said, wait a little bit because we have a lot of years, you know. I'm taking care of 2 kids right now that they're at the age where they need attention. They need a lot. One of them was very premature, so I'm a little bit worried over him all the time. When he gets sick, he gets sick. She doesn't get as sick as much. She was born a month or 2 before her time too, in my 7th month. He was born, no, that's a lie. She was in the 8th month. He was in the 7th month, 6th to 7th month. He came out. So he was very premature. He was on like 4 pounds, a couple ounces. Very sick, wouldn't eat, in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He was in the hospital for almost a month or more. So those are the things that as a mother, you have fear, you know, for your child that you really don't know. And the hospital down there, healthcare, I forgot about that part. Healthcare is something to worry about if you're moving to Jamaica. You have to find you a good doctor, a very good doctor. And if you're really, really sick, you're going to have to come back. I would not sit up here and lie to anyone and say, oh, healthcare is the best down there. You're going to have the greatest. No, you're not. You're not. Healthcare in Jamaica is one of the worst. And a lot of people don't want to touch that subject. But healthcare is one of the worst in Jamaica. I will not tell anyone to go to Jamaica if you have a health problem. If you're planning to go home, don't run to Jamaica unless you go. Find you a good doctor, someone that you know could deal with your situation. Good clinic, good doctor, a good space where you know can handle your situation. Do not get up and run there if you have a health problem. An emergency, and if you think you might have an emergency, that's another thing. You have to live in a good area. I will tell anyone, do not go live in the country area if you have a heart problem. And I mean serious heart problem, not just because I have a little bit of, here and there. If you really have a great situation where you require, it might be an emergency for you. If you have a pacemaker, I'm not trying to scare anyone, so I'm going to get it clear. I'm not trying to scare you, but if you do have health problems, be careful running home right away without finding you a doctor first, because you can find a few doctors down there that can deal with your situation. Make sure you're close to some of the major hospitals. They do have a few private ones. They have some in Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, and Kingston. But if you have to have major surgeries and you're American, you're a citizen, you're a resident of the United States or some other country, go there for it. I wouldn't suggest, I wouldn't sit here and tell you, stay there and go. There's good doctors, but most of the good doctors done left because they're not paying them well enough. So you have an issue right there, to me, in the first place. Second of all, if you feel as if though you can have any form of serious emergency, do not move to Jamaica on a permanent basis. Just because of the healthcare system, it's messed up. What you're used to is not. You're going to be sharing. It's what you're used to in the States and other places. Is not like that's not it in Jamaica. Some hospitals are a little bit up to date, a little bit equipped. They're good hospitals, but they're paid hospitals. Most people that have their children or want to have their children, or if you're having a C-section, make sure you come back to America. Do not do it there. Come back to America. Come back to wherever, as close as possible. If you even come back to Miami, or so what? Come back and have your children. Do not have a C-section there. Do not have a heart surgery there. A back surgery, do not try to have it there. Some surgeries, do not try to have it there. Basic little things, yes. If you have cataracts, whatever, and you can come back home here, come back, or wherever you can go back to and do your surgeries, because Jamaica is not the place. So I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, Jamaica is the best place to go for healthcare. No. If you have health problems, double think. Is it the worst place? No, because there's worse. Is there any good doctors there? Yes. Can I recommend one? No. But when it comes down to where you're going to live, healthcare, transportation, and all those things taking place, financials, make sure you have all those things sorted out. And if you could get there and sort them out while you're there, do not try to do it from this end or wherever else overseas. If you want to live in Jamaica, go in Jamaica and try to sort these things out right there. Do not try to do it. Oh, you can go down there, open your account, come back and start doing your money. Like I said, get your SSI, your TRN. You could get up and do a lot of things online. But are you going to get the right set of people to deal with? Or are you dealing with the right set of people online? You're not going to know, honey, until you get there and you find out you have nothing. It's almost like with people that's trying to build a home and they're sending money to their loved ones, their family. Oh, it's my mother, oh, it's my sister. And you send your money and there's nothing there. People have went home and there's nothing. Or they built something, but they built it on their land, or they build it for themselves with your money. So a lot of the times, a lot of people don't want to touch that subject either. Yes, I have a sister there, I have a brother there. If you believe in your heart that this person's going to do you right, and you know this person's going to do you right, fine. But I suggest if you're going to do it, try your best to try to do some of it yourself. Get there on your own. Make sure your name is on where you're going to be at, or have something showing that it's yours. And then you go ahead and start building. Do not hand your money over to strangers. Do not give yourself out as like, oh, I trust this one, I trust that one. Don't start throwing your money around as if because, oh, you're thinking people laugh with you and grin their teeth and being nice. They mean you well? No, they don't. A lot of them are thieves, and they'll take your stuff. They will take the money from you. They'll spend it the way they want to spend it. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to head back in, and the ants are eating me alive. You see me scratching? It's ants, and they're all over the place here. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Like the video. I know it's a lot. I will come back on here and touch on a few other bases. You know, you guys have a good day.